some of us are falling victims to opportunists over here. They're luring us over here to rob us. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. As long as there's victims, as long as there's people giving away their money, losing their fourth quarter, losing their lives in some instances, I'm going to continue to talk about it. Welcome back to my channel, Sunshine Shoulders. I'm Calvin. Thank y'all so much for stopping by again today. Should the United States issue a travel warning about dating in the Philippines? Hear me out before you push back. You know, I'm in bed, I'm about ready to go to sleep, and there's a video that comes across my feed, my YouTube feed. It's a young lady. I want to say that she's the same young lady who's been going around bringing awareness to homeless foreigners and foreigners who have fallen on hard times over here. I put the link in there. And it's another horror story. The British guy, he's homeless. He's up in Manila now and coming from Cebu. The young lady he was dealing with stole all his documents, his passport, destroyed them basically, his proof of life letter that he needs to get his benefits, his ATM card, and basically drained his account. And I'm saying to myself, how many more victims do we have to see or know about over here before something is officially done? Because these guys don't listen to us. They don't listen to people like me. But if these governments come out with an official statement warning guys about the pitfalls of dating over here and give them all these examples, maybe it could help people. If it were anything else, ladies and gentlemen, with all these victims, if it were armed robbery, if it was assault, if it was kidnapping, if it was murder, something would be done. It would be in the headlines. But it's not, because for the most part, no one cares. And then for another part, we blame the men. And I have to agree. A lot of men over here, they're gullible. These foreign men, they're gullible, they're blockheads. But let me tell you something. In a lot of cases, there's something criminal going on. They're victims. And no one's being held accountable. That's why you hear about these stories over and over and over. No one's brought to justice. Even if Mr. Rafi Tufo comes to your rescue, he's basically going to get you your money back or some of your money back, but they're not going to prosecute the people. So if the government puts this official stamp on there, just like it does everything else on travel.state.org about the travel to the Philippines, if they put dating on there and how men are losing their retirement over here, they're having their fourth quarter expire over here. We're literally and figuratively, sorry, it's early in the morning. Hey, man, Buntuck, dying over here. Victims of dating, really. And they, I know they've got something on love scams, but it's so far off the front of that travel advisory that, first of all, we don't even look at the main travel advisory. It's not like we're going to heed it anyway. And let me stop right here and say, I'm not advocating this. I'm just asking you the question. So Filipinos don't get mad at me. Foreigners don't start pushing back. I'm having a conversation today. With there being so many victims, not just this year, but over the years, over the decades. Men giving away their life savings, losing their retirements. Should the government make an official statement? You probably think, Cal, you're crazy, but I'm not. Okay, it's a lot of talk about why tourism is down in the Philippines. You can believe what you want to believe, but one of the main factors is, excuse me, the ant. These ants falling from these trees, these big red ants, man, they'll grab a hold of you. You can't get rid of them, and they'll bite you, man. I mean, it really hurts. I mean, really. But anyway, you can say what you want, believe what you want about the reason tourism is down here. But one of the main factors is South Koreans and Chinese have stopped coming temporarily because they've been victims of crime over here. And their governments aren't satisfied with the justice they're receiving. So they advise their citizens, hey, don't travel to the Philippines. We can't guarantee your safety. And that's basically what happens. But of course, you know, the United States is never going to do something like that when it comes to dating, because a lot of times they say we're the reason why. You know, there's no crime being committed, but that's bullshit, guys. You know, I just did a video yesterday on my members only live stream. Not live stream, members only channel, about how men should be more selfish during our fourth quarter. That we've done everything for everybody else. It's our time now. The clock is ticking. If you don't do it now, you're never going to do it. You're not going to have time to do it. So if you think men are everybody, not some men are, but not all men. If you think all men are just coming over here and voluntarily handing over all of that sacrifice, everything they work for, then you got another thing coming. It's just gotten out of hand, guys. It's just gotten out of hand. I just got up this morning, I guess because I went to sleep with it on my mind. I got up with it on my mind today. There has to be something that can save more men from whatever's going on over here. Imagine, you know, the biggest mistake he made probably was letting the woman know where his personal documents are. You got to have some privacy over here. Don't lay it all out there in the open. Yeah, you got to trust somebody. But, without having any particulars, I really don't know his situation. What I'm saying to you, if you're watching this, only keep a copy of your personal documents. You should have them locked up somewhere where she doesn't have access to it. This lady should be prosecuted. That was a crime, destroying government documents like that. But nobody's going to do anything about it. We're just going to watch that video and laugh, because if you go in the comments, you're going to see it. Another one bites the dust and this and that, right? Everybody's blaming us. Even on my last public live stream, I said, hey, it's time that we stop blaming these women. And in most cases, it's true, but some of us are falling victims to opportunists over here. They're luring us over here to rob us. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. And as long as there's victims, as long as there's people giving away their money, losing their fourth quarter, losing their lives in some instances, I'm going to continue to talk about it. It just seems like nobody cares. You say, Cal, they're not listening to you. I don't know what to tell you then. Because the government, yeah, they've got that love scam on there, but it's so far off the main page that hell, people aren't going to see it. There's something going on over here, guys. It's too many victims. There's something more than just men being blockheads over here. But nobody cares, so nothing's going to be done about it. And even if they did put the stamp, the official stamp on there, most of the time Americans aren't going to listen. We're not going to heed the warning. We're not going to be like the Chinese and the South Koreans. We don't respect authority. We don't stick together. Okay? We're just going to do what we want to do. The government tells you don't even go down in Mindanao, Americans. It's right on the front page of that travel warning. What we do anyway, thousands upon thousands of American expats live in Mindanao because we think we know more than the government. That's just, Americans, we're different. We're cut from a different cloth. But I'm just saying, just put it there. Somebody may see it. It's going to bring attention to this. It's become a phenomenon over here. Like I said before I get off of here, if it were anything else, if it were armed robbery, if it were assault, if it were kidnapping, if it were murder, it would get more attention. But because, good morning, but because it's only dating and only your life savings is at stake, no one does anything about it. No one is being held accountable over here. It's time for that to stop, man. Look, if you think you're a victim, bring charges. Okay? Bring charges. That in itself is going to help stop it right there. I put a cork in there, but they know that they're not going to be prosecuted. They know nothing's going to be done. I told you I had a friend of mine. He sent the woman 100,000 pesos over here just to hold for him. Say, hey, okay, till I get over there, so we can go, to the resort and, this is for our vacation. Well, hell, when he gets over here, man, it's gone. Hey, man, Gov't, the lady took his money. That's a crime. That's robbery where I come from. That's robbery. So if you're in America, if you're in the Philippines, wherever you are, find your heart to help somebody. Not a day goes by that I don't help somebody. Because if I don't know anything else, I know this one thing for sure. When we help other people, we help ourselves. Take care. Stay safe, stay out of trouble. I'll see you next time. Don't do anything stupid. Start listening to people when they talk about, listening more closely to people when they start talking about men giving their life savings away, losing their life savings, having their retirement stolen, and all the other things that go on in these relationships over here as it pertains to dating. This is a serious matter. Hey, man, Gov't. But because we blame the victim, nothing's being done. Nobody's being held accountable, and it's going to keep happening. I'm not advocating this, okay? I'm just one guy. I start the conversation, though. Not every man over here is a blockhead. If you go and look at that man, you're going to see that he's a decent human being that trusted the wrong woman. Okay? We're better than that, though. You know good and damn well you're not going to let anybody treat you like that in your home country. But yet you come over here and become a doormat. That's because subconsciously we know that people aren't going to be held accountable. We've been told for too long that if you're a foreigner over here and there's no help for you, I'll be damned, it is. But my heart goes out to that guy. I want to shout out that young lady. She's bringing awareness to that, man. I was looking up something else, and I was like, well, how many homeless people is it in America? So the latest figures, and I don't know if they could really give you a concrete figure, but they say 770,000. So, that's going to be about 0.25% of the U.S. citizens. So I transferred that over here to Americans in the Philippines. If there's 1 million Americans, visiting the Philippines, and 2,500 of them are going to become victims of some type of crime. That's just too many for nothing to be done, ladies and gentlemen. Take care.
Boots on the ground, don't do nothing stupid. Give that man his flowers, a tribute through music. If I don't know nothing, I know one thing.